Today we're gonna make chicken marsala pasta, so a little non-traditional here. Normally this dish is always served by itself. It's normally veal marsala, but we're gonna cut up the chicken pieces. I have all of the ingredients right here. Let's get into prepping them right now. Just cutting these up into like bite-sized pieces, okay, about that much. And then we're gonna season these with salt and pepper. Turn it over and then do the other side. All right, and we can reuse that bag that we just pounded the chicken with, and we'll put some flour in here. Do about half a cup. And we're gonna put the chicken inside of here and dredge it. And then just put it all on a sheet here, which will be for later. All right, guys, so I love to show you all the ingredients in advance. It's helpful for me, but it's helpful for you. It will allow you, no matter if you're making my dish, my recipe, or somebody else's recipe, it will allow you to have everything set up. So let's go over them from left to right. I have a pound of pappardelle here. I love pappardelle. You guys know I use that in a lot of my videos. You know, basically we're making something that's kind of heavy, so we want a pasta that can hold it. We have 1 1/4 cups of Marsala wine. I'm using dry Marsala. That's normally the one you want to use for chicken Marsala. We're going to use equal parts of chicken stock. So I have 1 1/4 cup of chicken stock here, low sodium. I have 1 pound of baby bella mushrooms or cremini. I have about 6 tablespoons of butter. Might not need it all, but probably will. You know we use a lot of butter here. We got about 1/4 cup of prosciutto. I had them slice it relatively thin at the deli counter, and then I sliced it here. So I'm going to try to break it up a little bit when we put it in the pan. You'll see in a couple of minutes. We have a few cloves of garlic, you know, kind of a mince chop, nothing big. And then we have chicken here, which we just filleted, pounded flat, 1/4 inch, maybe not even, probably more like 1/2 inch. And then salt and peppered it, and then flour, dusted it, shook off the excess. The final ingredient is parsley. Over there, we'll just mince a little bit up at the end when we finish the dish. If you're using a non-stick pan, you can just start right away. You don't really have to heat that up. With a stainless pan, you want to heat it up for a couple minutes. I'm going to put the mushrooms in. I'm just going to put them in with nothing right now. You can put mushrooms in with no oil or butter. You can put them in with oil or butter. The only thing you really kind of don't want to do is put salt on them right away. If you do that, it's going to encourage the water to release kind of a little bit before any browning can take place. When I'm trying to get them really brown, I would never put this many mushrooms in the pan, but because we're doing chicken marsala and it has multiple steps here, we don't want to be here all day. We don't want to do multiple batches like we did for, say, the brandy mushroom cream sauce. Okay, I moved them around a little bit. You can see how some of them are starting to get a little brown here. You know, like the center of your pan is going to get them the most brown. It's been about 3 minutes they've been going. I'll move them around again. You'll see the water start to come out of them now, and you will hear them. I'm just going to try to spread them out one more time. Okay, you can see the water now appearing right here. Hope you can. Okay. You can see how 1 pound of mushrooms turns into almost nothing after you cook them. So I definitely would use at least a pound here. You could even use 1.5 pounds. What I wouldn't do is use 8 ounces of mushrooms. All right, those are looking pretty good. They're fairly brown. They're good. They're good enough. I'm gonna season with a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay. I'm gonna put them actually in the same bowl right here. It's a clean bowl still. We'll take these off and then we will get our prosciutto in. Just spread it all around as best you can. You can save this too, because after we sear this up, we'll put it right back in here. I'm gonna tent those mushrooms so they stay a little warm. Yeah, do the best you can to try to, you know, or if you wanna be a little bit better than me, cut your pieces individually, and then you won't have the clumps of all the stacked prosciutto like I do here. All right, it is breaking up. There's only about 3 minutes on that prosciutto, and I'm gonna take it out and put it in here. If you're a little smoking, you should be all right. When you put the chicken in here, it's gonna bring the temperature back down. I'm gonna use a little bit of olive oil and butter, and if you have to do 2 batches of chicken here, do that. You don't wanna crowd it too much. You wanna get a little bit of brownness on the chicken. And I like to cut them up into pieces like this, so it's like bite-sized pieces. We did the same thing when we made the chicken piccata pasta a while back. And I'm gonna do 2 batches. There's no point trying to crowd them here and getting no color on them. If you put them all together in the pan, you're just gonna steam them, and you don't wanna do that. Yeah, and just get your chicken set, and then just don't move it. Let it cook for about 3 or 4 minutes on one side, and then a few more minutes on the other side. 2 batches we're gonna do here. How much butter did I use? I cut that into cubes. We have 6 tablespoons. We have probably, what do we got, 15 cubes there? Maybe 1 tablespoon I used for this batch. And then I used maybe a tablespoon of olive oil. You just gotta get enough to coat your pan. The butter and olive oil in the combination with the flour are gonna brown this chicken really nicely. So guys, I wanna talk about the knife I've been using lately. It's made by the sponsor of today's video, Misen. Much like myself, Misen aims to inspire and enable great cooking, and they believe that using the right tools can really elevate your cooking experience. And there's arguably no tool more important than a proper chef's knife. Not only is the Misen chef's knife beautiful with its ergonomic handle and high-grade stainless steel, it's also incredibly versatile. I've been using this for nearly all my chopping needs, whether it's fresh fruit for the kids' lunch, chicken, or garlic. This knife does it all. In fact, it's so well designed that it can actually replace an entire set of kitchen knives. I also love the fact that it's 2 to 3 times less expensive than other premium knife brands. So guys, for a limited time, Misen is giving you 20% off your first order. That is an incredible value. Go to the link in my description for 20% off your first order with promo code SIPANDFEAST. Again, go to the link down below in my description for 20% off your order with promo code SIPANDFEAST. And a special thanks to Misen for sponsoring today's video. All right, we'll flip them. They're not all gonna be as brown as others. The ones in the middle here, like this guy, are gonna be by far the most brown. And then, you know, flip these over, let these go for a couple more minutes, and then we'll get the chicken out of here. We don't need to kill the chicken. If you don't cook it all the way through here, like to 90%, it'll be fine. It's gonna go in the sauce at the end again. All right, guys, take these out and do the next batch. You can put them right in with the mushrooms. It's fine. One more batch will do. Just tent it again so it doesn't get too cold. And then you can put your garlic right in. You can turn your heat down a tiny bit if you're worried about it burning, but don't worry too much. We're gonna put liquid in the pan in a second. If for some reason you didn't have enough butter or olive oil in the pan, add a little bit more. You can add a touch more. You smell that garlic right away. That smells really good when it's hitting the pan there. And we're only gonna need 30 seconds, a minute here. Yep, we're good already, okay? So I have the Marsala and I have the chicken stock. When you put this in, just make sure that you're away from the pan, okay? I'm just gonna do a little bit to show you. So you touch, and it's gonna wanna just go up right away. You don't have to do one at a time. You can put them both in at the same time. All right, now again, we're using chicken base. It always gets stuck to the bottom. So just take a tiny bit more, put it, and then get it all out. That's all the chicken flavor. I'm gonna turn the heat up to high right now, all right? What I did here is I put in 2.5 cups of liquid. We did 1 1/4 of the chicken stock and we did 1 1/4 of the Marsala wine. So this should be enough. We could use a little pasta water to extend in a minute. But right now, if we were just to leave it like this, it would be a little too thin. So we want to reduce this, concentrate these flavors a bit. And with your spoon, you can remove all the brown bits down here. And that's all the flavor bits from the chicken. So we'll let this reduce. It's been about 1.5 minutes now. Probably gonna take about 4 minutes. I got my water boiling over here for the pasta, for the pappardelle. Pappardelle right there. And this is reduced a lot, so I'm gonna lower it down. I have a little bit of flour here. This was just the flour that I added to the bag before. I have the remaining butter, so we had 6 tablespoons total. Whatever this is now, there's probably about 3 left. I'm gonna put this in our flour, and we'll just mix it around. And what this will do is, it'll just give us a little bit more flour in there to help thicken the sauce just a tiny bit. I'm gonna add in the butter cubes. And I'm just gonna whisk them in. This is gonna add a lot of richness to the sauce. It's gonna give us just kind of that little bit extra what we need. We can add a little bit of the pasta water too to help emulsify it after. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons in the water here. And that's about 2 tablespoons, it's not exact. And I wanna show you this sauce here. Okay, look at this. This is a good consistency right there like that. You keep this sauce very low here. We don't really want it to reduce anymore. And then I have my nest of pappardelle. So this says 9 minutes to al dente. I'm gonna probably cook it to right about there, maybe about 8, and then we'll finish it in the sauce for just 30 seconds. All right, let's get all the chicken in there and the mushrooms, and just give your pasta a stir every so often so it doesn't stick. And then here's the prosciutto. I'm gonna put in about half of it. And we'll save the rest for topping later on. Mix this together. This looks phenomenal just like this. I just wanna dig into this right now and eat the Marsala like that. Try a little mushroom, little piece of chicken. I don't think it needs any more salt, maybe just a touch. You know, you want to be careful here, but yeah, I'm gonna say a little bit more pepper too. I'm gonna get the pasta in here. Remember, save that pasta water in case you need it. And let's just gently get everything together here. If you're, the Hulk, you can flip this right now, but I don't recommend that. And also, you might make a huge mess as well. You just want to cook this right until the pasta is done. So we pulled it a little bit short of al dente, and then we can also just chop up a little bit of parsley here. Don't worry, it's already washed. If you're a little dry, you just add a little bit of pasta water. That's all you have to do. Add parsley in. I got the taste tester here. I had this, it's been sitting for like 40 minutes because I was trying to take pictures of it. I even have it in a different pan now. So I hope this is all right with you, James.
Looks good.
Here's your fork. Here's mine. Let me try a piece here to see.
It's good. It has like a mushroom flavor. I really like it.
You try chicken? Right here.
It's good.
Yeah. I like that. I think it's delicious. But
yeah.
It doesn't matter what I think, it matters what you think.
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5, okay. What, now he doesn't, tell them what you don't like.
I just don't really like the prosciutto.
He doesn't like prosciutto.
It's so salty.
You don't like it anytime, right?
No.
I know, it's odd, right?
Special thanks to Patreon producers Chris Whalen, Steve Winitsky, Paul Walter Hauser, Elizabeth Shaw, Joe Hardage, John Andolino, Kenneth Parker, Matt Fisher, Tom Branca, Mike Tamburino, Matthew Amore, Richard P. Boanvanek, Alex Eckleberry, Andrew Uhas, Paul Batman, Patrick Lang, John Kelly, Jonathan Papini, Ronnie Mask, Trevor, JB, Monica Tarot, Josh Avon, Ed Calamag, Daryl Crone, Pedro Basso, Patricia M. Siefkin, Andy W., Frank Crum, Michael LaRocca, James McVeigh, Michael Martinez, and Liz Fleischer.